Hello. I got some things wrong in the previous video, but I don't feel like watching that video and taking and writing down what to correct. And also I could have elaborated in some places where I didn't, but well, of course, I mean, there's always more to say. I just not sure how much detail I should go into. Like one thing I could have said was that J2 here is was inspired by the moon music from the video game DuckTales, and I said that I didn't think this red thing was in Scratch, but it was. Not that that explains why that's there. I don't know. I don't know how that ended up there, though. Yeah. And also, oh, and I said that Public Coil was the one which was somewhat Mega Man inspired, but it was actually Clove Hunt. Heave Ho is referring to the enemy in Super Mario 64. And those two pieces of music, which I called hip-hop beats, which I uploaded to my SoundCloud and later deleted, I said that both of those were made in GarageBand, but actually only one of them was made in GarageBand. The other was made in the free version of Fruity Loops. And this is very nitpicky, but I said Ryo Fukui instead of Fukui Ryo. Forgot this was written by me, and I wrote it with family name first and Japanese names even back then. I mean, I guess I've done that even since I was like 12. I don't remember. Maybe I wasn't when I was 12, but I was at this point. I hope that's all. So now I can move on to 2020. Intrusion. Intrusion, it's named this, that has to do with the album cover. So this, I went into a store with East Asian stuff in it, and I stumbled upon this, and I took a photograph. Intrusion referring to me being in the store. And also it's referring to intrusive thoughts. Objective morality. So this is continuing. This one was called subjective morality, and here's objective morality. This is philosophy stuff that well, I'm not. I just I'm quite arrogant in that I believe to know like philosophical truths, even though I'm not good at explaining why I'm right. I can't explain, I just know it. So this is Rubanhera. That is an anagram, isn't that what it's called? Yeah, it's an anagram of Mr. Auburn Hair. Auburn Hair is a musician who made a song named I'm Gonna Murder My Baby. It's the first metal song ever, and I like it. I named this piece of music Rum Rubanhera because it uses it has quite a lot of distorted guitar, just like his song "I'm Gonna Murder My Baby." So again, here with the morality, ontologically objective morality. It's like these are philosophical terms. I'm not even sure I understand this. Well, okay, I guess I do. I understand what this is referring to. I'm not sure this is these are really the right words to be referring to these concepts with, but I am aware of concepts which can be called ontologically objective morality, ontologically subjective morality, epistemologically objective morality, and epistemologically subjective morality. And so I just decided to name some pieces of music after those concepts. Eliot. The first part here is just the usual, but then all of this is piano improvisation.
Jag kan spela jazz. Jag kan spela jazz.
I'm speaking Swedish. I'm saying I can play jazz. I can play jazz. A lot of piano improvisation. It's supposed to be one piece of music, but I had to divide it into two parts on Bandcamp because of a file size limit. Rum Rubanhera 2. I'd rather not explain this one. Leadlock rhymes with wedlock, I guess because I was girl crazy. At Me, that's referring to Luke Atme from Ace Attorney. Useless comments. What? I don't know what this is referring to. This must have referred to something, right? I don't know what. I don't know. And gens. Just like a little Proto-Indo-European word that I like the sound of. It means goose. Imprecated Theobroma. What a name for an album. Well, imprecated, what does that mean? It means pretty much the same as cursed. And Theobroma is a plant. Theobroma means god food in Greek. And there's a species, Theobroma cacao, which is the best known species of the genus. It's used for making chocolate. Yeah. This album cover is a picture which I took in 2015. of just the street. I don't remember why I named it Muzzling. Daedmon is a character from Ace Attorney. Daedmon is, by the way, also what I name all of my Pokemon. You may have seen, maybe you've seen one of my Pokemon videos, and all my Pokemon are named DM. It stands for Daedmon, because I am uncreative, so I name all of them Daedmon. Fire Snake. It is the first rap song I ever released. I made unreleased rap songs in 2017, but this is the first one I released. And like, I don't even remember. I think I started writing it in 2000. I must have started writing it in 2017. No, I think I wrote... I don't remember. I think I wrote some of it in 2017, but then I removed most of what I wrote in 2017. In fact, I might have removed all of it. Or like, I wrote a beginning in 2017, and then like I continued with it in 2018 or 2019, I think. Like one of those, like later I wrote more, and I just I scrapped the lyrics I'd written in 2017. I think that's how it happened. But is that really how it could have happened? Because the thing is, the lyrics of Fire Snake are about that Minecraft server I was on. I mentioned it earlier, with the Maze of Yared. It's the same server that I'm rapping about here. Yeah, you see. It's like, if it would seem like I then, because I remember playing on that server in the summer of 2017. So did I write these lyrics that early? I guess it's possible. I guess it's possible that I wrote those first lyrics and then just like soon thereafter, like maybe days or weeks or months later, I wrote the rest, and then I scrapped the lyrics I'd written. The first lyrics that I'd written, I scrapped those and kept the other ones. And then finally, here in 2020, I recorded this and released it. And the title Fire Snake, it refers to the enemy in Super Mario Bros. 3, which appears in the desert, and I don't even know if this was intended when I was naming it, but the Fire Snake appears in the desert, and my country/city on the server was in the desert, so that's fitting. And the instrumental, the instrumental here is it's reused. It's the instrumental. It's the same chord progression and bass line as in the chorus of Epic Locrian. And by the way, I just remembered, there's something I have to talk about around Elytra. Because in the middle of me working on Elytra, I released another album, you could call it, to my YouTube channel. It's not on Bandcamp, it's only on my YouTube channel, because it didn't really feel like a proper thing that really fits in my discography. It is in the playlist. It is in my music playlist. It is in the playlist for my music on my YouTube channel, but didn't really feel like as a part of my discography, so I didn't put it on Bandcamp. Star Wars Episode 7 Fendis Style OST, 2019, December 28th. So yeah, before Elytra was released. So this is the soundtrack for my Star Wars fan film. And man, my Star Wars fan film sucks. It is so bad. But yeah, so here's the soundtrack. I released it to YouTube, but not to Bandcamp. So back to Imprecated Theobroma. Daedmon 2. Here's one in FamiTracker. It's been, decided to make one in FamiTracker. It had been a long time since I'd used FamiTracker for a piece of music I released. It's been it had been a long time since I last released a piece of music made in FamiTracker. Belated figuration of gravitational conclusion. Yeah, so what this is referring to is, what this piece of music is about is, me getting banned from a Discord server, which meant a lot to me. Gravitational conclusion, remember in the previous video I talked about gravitational dilemma, how I'm talking about, when I say gravitational, I mean, I meant, like, where you gravitate socially, and, the conclusion was that I gravitated away from the people in that Discord server. So that's the gravitational conclusion. That's what that means. And it's belated because this was released a couple of weeks after I was banned. So it's somewhat late. HM05. Alright, so here's Linus. And it's named Linus because my acquaintance Jason gave me some advice on my music. He suggested something for my music, and so I tried it here in this one. And I named Linus because he was, in his words, he was doing a forced meme about Linus Tech Tips. I remember he had this video of him saying Linus Tech Tips and laughing over and over. That video's gone now. But yeah, so that's why I named it Linus. And here we have Daedmon 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. These all have the same base. Base as in B-A-S-E. However, I should say it. As you can see, they're all the same length. The only difference between these is the melody. Everything else about them is the same. So these are inspired by the it's inspired by the song "I Wanna Be Like You" from the 1967 Disney film The Jungle Book. I haven't watched it. I just, at some point, like quite a while ago, maybe in like 2018, I read about it on r/music theory. Someone used "I Wanna Be Like You" as an example of a minor song, a song in a minor key which sounds happy. Although, and that's not really true, because, I mean, only the verses are in the minor key, and they don't sound happy. They're more like, they're actually kind of dramatic, I would say. But whatever. They're not sad, though, exactly, but whatever. Whatever. That's how I found out about that song, anyway. So, I mean, so like I'm going for, yeah, so I was trying to do something kind of similar with these. Kagami. Kagami was an anime girl I was romantically attracted to, although she wasn't my waifu at the time. At the time, Maya Fey was my waifu. Currently, Kagami is my waifu. So I made this album named after her, and this album cover is a reference to Weezer's eponymous debut album cover. So I just made the background purple because, well, Kagami's hair is purple, although hers is actually light purple. But whatever, just whatever. I made this background purple, and so then I took Kagami here. This picture of Kagami is from episode 21, and so I just copy pasted it 4 times. Yeah, I put Kagami here in the corner. Bulbaped. Bulbaped, I was talking about earlier, Wikiped, so I applied that same thing to Bulbapedia. So I called, yeah, Bulbaped. Okay, the intro is inspired by Green Day Armitage Shanks. Bobbly's Ink. Bobbly's Ink is something in Ace Attorney. Alright, so more jazz. Actually, well, yeah, in the beginning here it's not jazz, but it becomes jazz here at some point. Yeah, so here it turns to jazz. And what I did here, I was talking about this in the previous video, that I eventually did this. So in this one, I haven't done this in any other piece of music I've made, pretty much. Well, yeah, I haven't used this exact method in any other piece of music. What I did was, for the jazz drumming, you know, I've listened to some jazz, and it's like they don't play the snare drum on the same beat every measure. They vary it. So what I did here was I randomized it where I randomized it using random.org to decide where the snare drum would be hit, when the snare drum would be hit. So it's randomized. I didn't randomize it the entire song, I just randomized it for a while and then I copy pasted that. New York City banned hot dogs. So something I've done on my... So something I do in Anvil Studio, I just come up with like these melodies sometimes, and I just save them. And a lot of them never become full pieces of music that I release. New York City banned hot dogs used to be one of those. The guitar melody in the beginning here, that was once its own little file named New York City banned hot dogs. And the reason I named it New York City banned hot dogs was because I was watching this Frank Tufano video when I was making that MIDI file about New York City banning hot dogs. I mean, not exactly, but that was what the video was titled anyway. And then I made it into a full piece of music later. And yeah, so that's why it's named that. And Jason commented on it, saying Singapore banned bubblegum. So the next piece of music I made, I named it Singapore banned bubblegum. And in fact, Jason later made a piece of music of his own named Singapore banned bubblegum. Manny Cochin is a character from Ace Attorney. And I should mention, I don't even know when this started, but you know that clave rhythm I was talking about? Well, at some point I started using it in the bass. I don't know when. I don't know when that happened. You can hear the clave rhythm here on the guitar. But when did it start in the bass line? Oh, maybe it started here, with wheat. Yeah, I guess maybe it started with wheat. That I started using the clave rhythm in the bass line. And that ended up being something that I would do for a lot of pieces of music. So that's Kagami. Next one is Bourbon Island. The album cover is me playing badminton. Pearl's Ball. Pearl's Ball, that's something in Ace Attorney. Case 2-2. Channeling Chamber is a location in Ace Attorney, Case 2-2. And yes, this is another collaboration with Stavel Jacob. Yeah, he composed the bass line in the intro. Folding Screen is something in Ace Attorney, Case 2-2. Clothing Box is something in Ace Attorney, Case 2-2. Alright, so, yeah, I guess I hadn't done this before. In a Folding Screen, I use quarter notes in the bass line. In fact, I might have randomized them. Yeah, I guess this is... Yeah, so what I did... I don't know if I did it in this one. Maybe I didn't. But something I started doing at some point with some of them is I randomized it. So I don't know if I started with that here, but something I've done is with these quarter note ones, bass lines, is that I've randomized on random.org so that with every note I place, I randomize it 1 to 3, and so that there's a 1 in 3 probability that the note I shall place shall be a non-chord tone, and a 2/3 probability that it shall be a chord tone. I get to pick the chord tone though, or non-chord tone. I get to pick the notes, but the randomizer decides whether it shall be a chord tone or a non-chord tone. Clothing Box is a piano improvisation. I don't remember if I was planning for it to be a piece of music when I was playing it. I think I was with Elliot's, but I don't remember if I was with this one. I don't remember. Sesame is my first piece of music to have an actual, like, physical bass guitar. An actual bass guitar. It wasn't mine. I was borrowing my cousin's bass guitar. So there's lots of bass guitar improvisation on this one. And it's named Sesame because a character in Ace Attorney Case 2-2 has claims to have a sesame allergy. So yeah, all of these are named after something in Case 2-2 in Ace Attorney. Case 2-2 is named Reunion and Turnabout. And Reunion is an island in the Indian Ocean. And it's apparently previously it was called Ile Bourbon, which means Bourbon Island. So that's why I named this album Bourbon Island. With Crystal Oil. With Crystal Oil is something in Ace Attorney. Let me look this up. So Bubbly's ink is created from Wit Crystal Oil. So that's the relation between the album name and the names of the pieces of music, because all of these are named Bubbly's ink. I remember the first Bubbly's ink was here on Kagami, but then I made a Bubbly's ink 2, Bubbly's ink 3, Bubbly's ink 4, and Bubbly's ink 5. So yeah, this is really when I just didn't feel like giving my pieces of music individual names anymore. So this is actually Bourbon Island is the first one that I explicitly called a genre. As you can see here in the tags on Bandcamp, it says it's free jazz. So it's not just experimental. Well, experimental isn't even a term that I would use. That's just Bandcamp forces you to use a category for your music, and I felt experimental was the most accurate. But anyway, whatever. Bourbon Island is the first album of mine. Even Triple Dagger, I didn't actually call jazz, or at least not in the tags on Bandcamp. But on Bourbon Island, I classified it on Bandcamp as free jazz. And same with Crystal Oil. This is another free jazz album. Though today, if I had made Triple Dagger today, I would have also called it free jazz, and I would have also called Kagami free jazz. Considering, well, 4 out of 5 of the pieces of music on Kagami are free jazz. Indeed. So, with Crystal Oil, right at the end of 2000, late 2020, released the day before Christmas Eve. This album cover, I looked up and I saw water coming out of a building. I don't know why water was coming out of this building, but I photographed it. It was kind of interesting. Yeah, so I made it an album cover. Yep. And this album is 45 minutes long. That's the thing, I didn't mention that, but 45 minutes became like a standard for me. I tried to make every album after, well, I don't remember. But at least, I don't remember. But at least, I don't know about these ones, but all of these ones are approximately 45 minutes. This one is a bit longer. It's 51 approximately, I think. But yeah. And I wanted to make an album, a free jazz album with 4 pieces of music, just like a jazz album I like named Roy and Diz 2, number 2. Roy and Diz number 2. That album has 4 pieces of music. So I made each piece approximately 11 minutes and 15 seconds. long. And that's what this is. It's, yeah, they're very similar to each other. Yeah, they're similar. They all have similar drums, they all have quarter notes, bass lines, and lots of guitar improvisation. Untitled album. So this is when I was still in the mindset of I don't want to give unique titles to my pieces of music and albums anymore. But what I realized here was that, well, I can just make them untitled. Like, I'm not even the first to do that. There is untitled music. So yeah, I decided to make an untitled album. And all of the pieces of music on this album are untitled except for the first one. But first, let me talk about the album cover. Actually, first, I kind of forgot this. I need to talk about a piece of music which is not public, but it was released at one point. It was public at one point, but it's not anymore. It is a rap song, which it's a collaborative song I made with someone named Oipu. He has, so anyway, we made this piece of music. We made this rap song. It was a rap song. We made it, like it says I downloaded it here to my computer on 2020, November 8th. So it was released either on that day or a bit earlier. Yeah, it's 1 minute and 45 seconds long. It's named Nazashi. That's Nazashi. And he was responsible for most of the production. Yeah, I mean, all I did was send him a recording of me rapping, pretty much. And he had 2 verses, whereas I only had 1 verse. Yeah, so I mean, he's rapping for much longer than me on the song. And yeah, he produced it, you could say, like yeah. And he uploaded it to his YouTube channel. I never uploaded it to my YouTube channel, but I added it to my playlist. The playlist for my music. But then he deleted it. And later, his entire channel disappeared. In fact, like, he disappeared from the internet altogether. And but yeah, like, you know, because I was smart, I downloaded it to my computer, so it's not lost media, but it is not available to the public anymore because I find my verse cringy. So I don't want to re-release it. His verses are pretty good, though. Yeah. November 8th, was it? So that would have been... yeah. Right after Clothing Box. So back to Untitled Album. This album cover, I did not make it. Well, then again, it's not like I... well, actually, I pretty much made all of these in some sense. Like, none of these are like exactly someone else's. Like, even like, I guess the closest you get to that is this one, which is the purple coin from Super Mario Galaxy. But even then, like, I added this background, this colored background. So, like, all of them are mine in some sense. Like, I made them, you know, in some sense. But this one, I did not make. I did not make this album cover. Let me show you. This album cover was made by Beatrice Derasine, one of my favorite YouTubers. She tweeted it on 2020, October 13th, saying, quote, "Gotta start making albums for these to be the covers of," unquote. Well, it's been 11 months and she still has not made an album with this cover. I still feel a little like uneasy about using her album cover that she made, but even though I say I'm against copyright law and all, but I figured, well, she's probably never gonna make like in addition to all that to that stuff about me being anti-copyright law. I mean, I also thought to myself anyway, I don't know if this is really a good argument, but I thought to myself, well, she's probably never gonna make an album with this cover anyway, so I mean, I might as well use it so that at least someone uses it. Because I think it's a good album cover. I like it. I just had to do a little cropping because it actually wasn't a square, so I just did a little cropping. So the first piece of music is "What Am I Here For?" That is a jazz piece of music by Duke Ellington, which I have I've listened to Brown Sugar 0077's cover of it. It feels weird calling them covers in jazz, because covers are so common in jazz that it sounds a bit wrong, even though I don't really see much of a distinction, but still it kind of sounds wrong. But I don't really know what else to call it. And yeah, I like Brown Sugar 0077's cover. And I don't know, probably no one even knows what I'm talking about when I say Brown Sugar 0077. I'm referring to a YouTube channel run by the Japanese jazz musician Oi Takashi, and he uploads a bunch of videos of him playing with other Japanese jazz musicians. Actually, sometimes they're American and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, jazz musicians. Yeah, I that's his channel is my favorite jazz music. My favorite jazz music is on that channel. That's where I listen to the majority of my jazz. But anyway, so I covered it. I tried to cover it, and it sucked. This is one of the worst pieces of music I've ever made. Cause it's so bad because I suck. So in this piece of music, I'm playing the guitar and the bass guitar and the drums. But the thing is, because I suck at playing musical instruments, I had to play it at such a low tempo to be able to play it. So this is extremely slow. And if you speed it up if you speed it up in editing, it actually sounds kind of good, because then it's at a proper tempo. But the way it is here, it's so slow. So ridiculously slow. It's like, I don't know, it's like 60 BPM or something. And also I can't even play. Like, even at that slow tempo, I can't play. I can't actually play what I'm supposed to be playing. Because I barely practiced. I practiced playing the melody of What Am I Here For, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes. So I barely practiced. And so I can't even play the melody even at that slow tempo. So it just sucks so bad because I can't do it. So I suck. Alright, so the idea I had with Untitled 1, the first Untitled piece of music, the idea I had was that maybe if I simplified my piece of music, if I simplified my music, maybe people would like it. So I made it quite simple. I went for kind of like a rock style genre. That's why it says rock here in the tags. This one is intended to be rock. And so I'm playing simple power chords. I'm playing it only has 3 chords, the entire song. And the melody keeps to a scale. So the melody only has, I believe it only has 7 notes, the melody. So I'm not even, like, I'm keeping to a scale. Only using 7 notes for the melody. So I really tried to simplify it, hoping, and I also, like, toned it down with the short, like, really, like, the large amount of short notes that a lot of my melodies have. I really toned it down with this one. I really tried to simplify it, and did people like it? No, they didn't. I did the same thing with Untitled 2. It also only has 3 chords, and also the melody keeps to a scale. And also these with these ones, well, with this one too, like, I did something which I hadn't really done before, which was to rely as little on my computer as possible in terms of, like, the music, the instruments. On these two, I play the guitar, for the chords, and I play the drums. By the way, the drums are indeed the instrument I've had for the longest. Well, okay, that's not true. Never mind. Whatever. I could get into all that. Might just all the instruments. It's not really important. Like the acoustic guitar and the piano and the ukulele were always here, and I got the electric drums for my 13th birthday, and I got the electric guitar for my 16th birthday. Yeah, well, I also got some other instruments at other points, or, well, namely one. The melodica, which I've barely played. Yeah, whatever. This is just like a sidetrack I wanted to go down for some reason. Yeah, you could say I consider the drums like my main instrument, but I'm no good at it. I'm no good at any instrument. And I'm also playing the electric guitar and lowering it an octave in editing, and that's the bass line. So the only thing that isn't, the only thing that's in Anvil Studio in these, like something on the computer, is the main melody, which because that's way too difficult to learn on like the guitar or the piano, or I don't even have a piano. Well, I would have to record it downstairs then, in the living room. But yeah, that's too difficult, so that's the one thing in Anvil Studio. So yeah, and that makes these that makes them quite more makes them more, makes me have to put in more effort to produce them. So this is again a rock piece of music. Untitled 4 is I guess you could call it jazz, kind of. I guess you could call it jazz. It has like jazz drumming, I guess you could say, and it has improvisation. And Untitled 5. So Untitled 5 is inspired by Nirvana, Molly's Lips. And it also has guitar improvisation, and then Untitled 6. Yep, and then some guitar improvisation. And that's Untitled Album. So Untitled Album is the first time in a long time I've released an album which is considerably shorter than 45 minutes. Untitled Album is, how long is it? It is 24 minutes and 19 seconds. Yep, that's quite short. But it was released on July 9th, and I haven't made any music since then. It's been 2 months. I just wanted to get it out there, just finish it, I decided that, maybe it's better to release albums based on the amount of pieces of music rather than on the amount of time. So I thought, yeah, seven is a good amount of tracks, so that'll do. That's Untitled Album. So yeah, and this one I also classify as free jazz, in terms of, well, definitely this first one is free jazz, and then maybe Untitled 4. I guess that's it. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's my music. As for future plans, well, I've had some ideas for pieces of music, but because of the amount of effort it takes to make them with all the instruments, I mean, making music requires effort. not a lot of effort in my case, but it still feels like a lot to me. So I don't feel like it's. And also, I can't even come up with an idea for an album cover. I really cannot think of an album cover. I was considering making a black album cover, and then Kanye West beat me to it. Although the black album cover was only going to be temporarily. I had planned. But, well, it would have been permanent if I really couldn't come up with anything. Yeah. Goodbye. Oh, and by the way, you know how I said that I was posting all of my pieces of music to Reddit? I stopped doing that around here somewhere with these Daedman ones. I think I might have stopped it here, like 7. Or maybe I stopped it here. I don't know. Somewhere around here I stopped. Goodbye.